I'm here with Dr. Patrick Gentempo. You're going to hear why in a minute, but I'm actually here live in Cancun, Mexico, where I'm doing some more filming. And I have to tell you, something happened. Some stories happened here that made me go live with Patrick Gentempo. And Patrick had wanted me to promote, which I promote everything Patrick does because I believe in the man and what he's doing. And but he did a revealed series. I'm sure most of you are familiar with Vaccines Revealed, GMOs Revealed, and some of the others. But he asked me to promote the Money Revealed. And I thought, I don't know. That's not my niche. I'm not sure, if my fans would wonder why I'm promoting it. Well, here in Cancun at this cancer institute, one of the top in the world, actually, and talking to these people and some devastating stories, some great stories. But one of the things that keeps coming up is, it's about 50 grand to be here for 3 weeks, and it's all out of pocket. And these are the best treatments in the stinking world right here. It's a shame it's out of pocket, but it is. And one of the things that echoed was, I never thought I'd be here. I'd have saved it. I would have thought, through it more. And one of the things that was running through my mind as I spoke to them is, actually, I'm thinking, how could you not have thought you'd be here with the way things are, the way we eat, the way we're vaccinating, speaking of revealed GMOs, revealed vaccines, and all the shows that Patrick has been producing. But the fact is that's why I said, let's do this Money Revealed. And I have to say, Patrick, well, first of all, thanks for jumping on with me here.
My pleasure to be here. And it's interesting, the point you're bringing up, the relationship between health and wealth. And there is a direct relationship there. I know some people, rightfully so, say, hey, health is the first wealth. And that's true. However, if you have a lack of resources, your ability to invest in your health becomes limited. And as you're citing, unfortunately, it's not even a matter of saying, hey, we want to proactively go out there and promote our health. And certainly, for myself and my family, we invest heavily in health, in our health and healthcare and wellness, if you will. But due to all the kinds of programs we've been doing, with the toxins in the environment, with GMOs, with vaccines, and these types of things, there are so many people who have lost their health. And the horror show is that they go into the conventional medical system, which doesn't understand the fundamental metabolic issues that are at hand. And the result is it makes them sicker. They get more toxic, more drugs, et cetera. And then when you wake up, and because, if I follow Dr. Dan Pompa, it's going to teach me about how we're poisoned, the importance of detoxing the cell, the protocols for doing so, what fasting you do, et cetera. But then when it comes time to actually try to get your health back to what it should have been, had you not been poisoned, there's a significant investment. And for many people, it can be a lot, even the root canals. One story right now I could tell you, of someone who, very healthy person, fit, meditate, exercise, everything. And then suddenly vague autoimmune problems, neuralgias, paresthesias, heart palpitations, et cetera, finally figure out what's wrong, root canals.
Yeah.
Right?
And by the way, you knew the heart of my story. I hear those stories all the time. Right. And then all of a sudden, they're in some major out of pocket money. Right. Fixing the root canals, getting it done correctly, all out of pocket.
Oh, right? It's $30,000, $40,000.
Oh, yeah. When you do all these things correctly and you have a mouthful of issues, it's going to be that. I'd have to say, just being here and hearing the stories that you hear, and the fact that it's coming out of pocket, everyone does say the same thing. It's like, look, once they, the regular standard of medicine care has failed them, then they're finding the money one way or they can't, because it's life or death, right?
Yeah.
All right. So look, I remember this was when you all were filming Money Revealed, and I have to say, personally, I have a great value on my health, and I really put every bit of investment into my health, as everyone watching this knows, but in the past, I didn't do well with my money, honestly, because I don't care. There's not a great value for that. Now there is. But in the past, as we're pointing out, there wasn't, right? And I fell sick. I remortgaged my home. right? I mean, I didn't have it, but I because I had a value on getting sick, I did remortgage my home. I you know, did everything I could. And money wasn't an issue for me. I found it to get well. However, you know, my wife and I estimated around $200,000 we spent getting me well, which we didn't have. You know, we did things to get it because of the value, and I wasn't going down the insurance route. So the bottom line is when I sat at dinner with you, Jeff Hayes, and a couple others, I think Pedram was there. I said, man, I can't wait to watch this, because I asked you this question. I said, out of all the revealed you did, I think this broke into the conversation. Which one did you learn the most? Which one did like floored you the most? You said money revealed. I mean, you know, it's like, I was like, real. I said, really? Why, Patrick? And you said, Dan, what we discovered along the way left my mouth dropping. I mean, that was your exact words. I was like, really? And I mean, we were at dinner, so I had very little time. But in that short period of time, you intrigued me, my viewers right now.
Well, you know, so money affects everyone, right? I mean, everybody has to care about money. And you may try to say, I don't, but if you don't have an interest in money, trust me, somehow you're going to have an interest in your finances at some point, because it's a part of how you exist on the planet, how you live up to your responsibilities, take care of your family, et cetera. I think that's kind of self-evident. Here's the thing. I've been an entrepreneur in my life. I've started 16 companies. Not all of them work, but some have worked on a very high level and have generated, many millions of dollars. And because of running companies, employees, et cetera, and having financial advisors and all these things, I felt like I really knew and understood money to a large degree. And what I began to find out is that I had blind spots. So I was going into this project saying it's an interesting topic. There's many things. There's some new things to think about as far as how blockchain is going to impact the world, how, encrypted.
By the way, that fascinated me, the blockchain. Yeah. Again, not even worth talking about, folks, because it's a huge subject that fully go through. I mean, put it this way, I'm investing. I mean, it's like you've changed my thinking on that just over a conversation at dinner.
And I'll tell you, blockchain is going to transform healthcare too. So, understand the technology, understand what it means. But then, of course, all the aspects of real estate, taxes, retirement, there's so many things. And what I found out is I thought I was an expert in this realm to a large degree. And I really came away saying, my God, I'm a child. I have blind spots. There's things I didn't understand. And it's this, I did all these interviews, with Jeff Hayes. We did this whole production. And I have to go back and rewatch the whole thing again. All my kids will watch it because I realized, okay, it's time for me to teach my kids about money. It's an important responsibility as a parent.
Me too.
Yep.
Me too.
And
my kids know all about health.
No, well, financial health is another form of health. So I'm sitting there saying, geez, I probably have about 20 minutes in me to talk about this with my kids. And I realized I've got 20 hours of a docuseries that they will now watch, and they'll know more about than I ever did, for my entire life and exist. So I think, the reality is that this is an important subject, and it's vitally important, and it relates to healthcare because I can tell you in everything that we do, recovery, if you live long enough, everybody's going to be facing some health challenges. And the way that we think, insurance doesn't cover most of what we do. So you need health assurance, you need financial resources, you need to understand how to create wealth, preserve it, and grow it. And I can tell you that as much as I've seen with the malfeasance and fraud relative to GMOs and vaccines, in the financial world, it is so rigged against you between the Fed, interest rates, the banks, and how they treat you in ways that you don't know or understand. I didn't know or understand. And I realized, my God, it's an entirely different point of view that has transformed my life and my financial life. So this is a world premiere. It's free. Anybody can register to watch it for free. And you're going to learn things that are going to be absolutely vital.
We'll make sure we put the how to register for the free part on this link here, or the link with this show. But I'm going to make my kids watch it, to your point. And what a resource. what you said though is critical, with the banks and all the things that you learned, the deception, et cetera. One thing I would say is I don't know the percentage of people who invest and don't invest, right? I was one who wasn't investing. So you better watch this because you got to make up time if you're not. And this is going to tell you how to make up time, really. But, most people that are investors watching this, I bet you it's 401ks in the standard Roth IRAs, et cetera. And I can tell you this docuseries is not about that. It's like me doing a talk saying, look, I promise you this isn't about eating more fruits and vegetables if it were only so easy, right? Okay, if it were only so easy to invest in a 401k,
Which incidentally, once they took us, we had a few experts speak to this, like Eric Gunderson in detail, Andy Tanner, and I promise you'll watch this and you'll pull out those 401ks faster than you can possibly imagine. And it's just we're all being lied to about a lot of things relative to wealth creation, wealth dynamics, and investment, and so on. 401ks is one of the prime examples. We investigate that on a deep level. But the impact of taxes, just one thing can I share one thing that was like startling to me. If you take, in order to grow wealth, compounding on existing wealth and growing it year over year is very, very important. And there's several examples of this that's given, but one of the most profound examples, they say people don't understand how insidious taxes are. And tax savings are important. They say, we'll go into a 401k, that's where you save taxes. That's wrong, and you'll see why when you watch. But here, just to show you the impact, if you take, so here's one, I might be a little off on the timelines, but I think this was it. If you take a 20-year investment, or take $1 and compound it 20 times, but let's just start there. I think that brings you to $1 million, right? If you were to take that same dollar and every time you go to compound it, tax it 25%. And I had another person do this in a very similar way on a 25% tax, saying over time, if you save this much and you save it without being taxed, here's how you get to $1 million. What will that be worth if you're taxed at 25%? And they asked me this, the two people, same question. What do you think after $1 million, when you have the $1 million without taxes, with a 25% tax on that income before you start compounding every year, what do you think that $1 million becomes? And you say, okay, well, what's 25% of $1 million? 750,000? I don't know. The difference between $1 million and then if you apply a 25% tax over time as it's compounding, it becomes $72,000.
Oh God.
Yeah. No, yeah, and this is why when people think, with taxes, I pay my fair share. They think it's almost a one-to-one effect, but it isn't. The compounding effect of taxes over time is extraordinary, which is why Robert Kiyosaki, there's a lot of famous people, and John Mackey, the co-founder of Whole Foods, Robert Kiyosaki, David Gardner, who's the co-founder of Motley Fool, lots of luminaries that you've heard of, and other people you haven't. But I mean, it's riveting. I remember watching Robert Kiyosaki, just watch him in the trailer when you go to sign up, where he said, conventional wisdom is people should go to work, they pay their taxes, they save.
Yeah.
It's completely wrong. He said, and have no debt. He said, I have $600 million in debt. I have no savings. And he laughs, ha, 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 and I pay no taxes. And he brings out how what we're being taught is all wrong. In school, they're teaching to become a good employee and to work hard and to support the system as compared to being independently wealthy and get out of that system. So anyway, watching this has been a revolution for my thinking, and I want to be yours too.
Y'all better share this if you care about people you love. I mean, I'm serious, man. People need to know this. As I'm sitting here listening to even just this, it's like I need to do a Cell TV on this because, I said, coming to a place like this, it really transforms your thinking. And even looking at my own life and, hearing the story you just said, it's like, people need the information, Patrick. It's this massive deception, just like in the healthcare, but you can't separate the two. It's remarkable just how little all of us really know about what's going on. Now, what are some of the big names that you interviewed that people would recognize?
So as we said, we have Robert Kiyosaki is in this. John Mackey, the co-founder and CEO of Whole Foods Markets, that I'm sure most of you would know. Really brilliant interview with him. Not that I'm brilliant, but he is. Also, we had David Gardner. Most people have heard of Motley Fool is out there. One of the most incredible interviews, Patrick Byrne, the founder and CEO of Overstock.com. I had done several interviews on blockchain and so on, but he leaned in and he said one thing to me, and this guy is like a savant. He's got an intelligence that's like almost incomprehensible. And he looked at me, he said, blockchain, not crypto, blockchain as a technology is going to change the world more than the internet. And after he explained how and why, there's no doubt in my mind he's right.
When you told me that, it's like that was it for me. You know, my wheels started spinning. And folks, that's what I mean why you could actually catch up if you're not a saver. There's a way to catch up. You got to hear this information. I'm serious.
I would defy. Listen, I've been around money and finance. I taught seminars on it. I mean, for over 30 years, and in this one docuseries is 10 times the amount of financial wisdom in this one docuseries than I got over 30 years of time. To put this together. There's nowhere else to go get this type of thing. It's really epic in scope.
No, hey, man, I appreciate you coming on. And like I said, really motivated to get this out there and the message out there for you. Folks, share, help Patrick and help other people. And the link we will provide so you can get the free viewing. You need it. Make your kids watch it. Thanks, Patrick. I appreciate you.
Thanks so much, Dan. Great to be with you and great to be with all of you who are watching.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.